practicing yoga for over 20 years, and I've been teaching for about 14, and I've been with the Dystonia Foundation for about 7. And throughout my journey with yoga practice, I've been able to contact a diverse range of experiences. I've worked intimately with people struggling with addiction, from people to that are bodybuilding. I've seen a full range of the human condition, and what I always find as a commonality, a place that we always meet as humans, regardless of any kind of ability that we're working with, is that we all suffer. And so I utilize yoga really as a method of alleviating this suffering. And Pema Chodron, she is a Buddhist monk, and she often talked about the difference between pain and suffering. And I think that's a really crucial area that we can explore. And because it's a basic axiom of yoga practice, and as all the wisdom traditions are. In yoga, we use particular emphasis on the breath, from basic regulation techniques to more advanced methods. And we begin to understand and take advantage of seeing a relationship between what's happening in our mind and our emotional states, and as that shows up within our breath. And so we see that when something's happening in the mind, it'll show up as a behavior in the breath, and then this impacts the mind, which then impacts the breath, and we get ourselves into quite a cycle with this. And for years, I worked as a rehab assistant at a rehab hospital. And one of my main experiences was when people were in quite a bit of physical pain, especially, is that the breath would become quite contracted. And then we get a cycle of anxiety within the mind. And of course, we get hypertension added into the body. And so through yoga, we become better able to use the mind to really think about what the mind is doing, maybe called meta thinking. This makes us a little bit more aware. And in that awareness, we have some choice. And this helps change our emotional well-being, which is essential. We can't ever separate mind, body, emotion, spirit from the environment in the body and the environment outside us. And so the question always is sort of, how do we stay at that edge between pain and suffering? And we expand that space with breath and through stabilizing the nervous system through appropriate movement and appropriate relaxation. And this gives us a choice to be with whatever it is that we're experiencing. So I really want to encourage you today to show up as you are in whatever mental, emotional, physical condition that you are, because yoga is for all bodies. My own experience of pain is that quite quickly it contracts the mind. And so whenever I've sustained a severe injury, which I've had quite a few of over the years, what I immediately notice happen in the mind is that there's fear, there's frustration, there could be some anger. And after time, that can really put us into a space of apathy, a sense of despair, a sense of despondency. And so the mind might quite quickly supplies all these scenarios and all these evidence to support whatever kind of thinking that we're having. And it's at that space that we can literally supply some oxygen into the body, but also metaphorically supply some oxygen into our thinking and sort of scale ourselves down from the oppression of having so many thoughts about what's happening in the body. So on that note, together, what we're going to do today is we're going to do some breath, and we're going to move within our abilities, and we're going to find a way just to rest down into a sense of positivity and a sense of hope that is ever present within the heart. The sequence roughly will be, I'm going to be moving to this chair. Hopefully you'll be able to see me well. Of course, do comment if you're having challenges seeing me. I can adopt how I'm sitting. We'll do a fair amount of chair yoga, and then we'll be moving to the floor, and I'll give you some time, especially if you have challenges moving between chair and floor. Though certainly if you can't move between the chair and the floor, no problem. We can always adapt things so that you're still sitting on the chair. So why don't we go ahead and we're going to move ourselves to the chair. Also, if you want to play your own music, I'm not going to play any music just because the iPhone is designed to pick up all sound. It won't just pick up my voice. But you can always play some light music in the background that you find soothing. Sometimes some nature music can be quite wonderful. So let's go ahead and we'll prepare ourselves by moving to a chair. If you don't have a chair handy or you prefer to sit on the floor, invite yourself to do that. And as with all movement, all types of exercises, you're listening first to your body, depending on your symptoms for the day. And you're listening to the advice, of course, any physiotherapists or kinesiologists or body practitioners, your physician, so that if anything is personally contraindicated for you, you simply eliminate that. And I really want to emphasize that there's not a wrong way to do yoga. There's really not a wrong way to be in your body. So listening first to yourself, and my voice just sort of becomes a secondary guide, inviting you into some therapeutic movement. So we'll go ahead and move to the chair. And again, Archana can simply let me know if I'm not being seen fully. So you can go ahead and get situated on your chair. And I'll just give you a minute to get nice and comfortable here. For the first little while, you can sit as far back into the chair as feels relevant for your body, particularly if you even have balance challenges while you're seated. So going ahead and sitting down onto the chair and just finding that your feet, you can't see mine, but my feet are quite firmly rooted on the ground. So there's a sense of stability and a sense of calm. You can feel free to lean against the back of the chair if you need spinal stability. And so let's just take a moment to arrive on the chair. And once you have arrived onto your chair, or if you're still seated, inviting the eyes to become soft. And if comfortable, you can simply close the gaze down. Remembering not to struggle against any symptoms that are presenting. You are in the safety of your own home, and you're in the safety of our togetherness. As the eyes close, invite the skin of the face to become soft and very relaxed. As though you could feel each eyebrow unwinding from the midpoint of the eyebrow to the outer edge. And then noticing how your jaw can relax and your lips can relax just as best as your body allows. And sometimes we find this can be the most challenging part of the practice, is this invitation to stillness. So it's okay, whatever your mind is doing, it's thinking thoughts, it's assessing, it's analyzing, or maybe it's anticipating. And you're simply inviting the weight of your world to come down from the head and all the way to meet the chair at the sits bones. Inviting the spine to be lengthened and tall as best as you can. There's a sense of being grounded, but also a sense of rising up through the body. Imagine that your shoulders were spilling out of the base of your skull. So the shoulders are light, but soft and relaxed. And then moving the mind to pay attention to your abdomen. You can relax between the ribs and the pelvis. So the belly is very, very full. Almost like a bowl in which it can receive. And now, out of all the possibilities, we narrow the mind to the present moment. We do so by paying attention to the breath as it lightly touches the tip of your nose. And you're just using your natural breath in these first few moments. So sometimes it takes a while to slow down the momentum of the mind and the trajectory of your morning. And every time you notice a thought come, you lovingly come back to the tip of the nose and just feel the natural movement of your breath, as though you were the ocean shore and the water was just gently waving, a calm ocean and a bright blue sky. Beginning to gently move the breath into more fullness through the body. On your next inhalation, begin to feel the inhale swelling into the belly. The belly is expanding on the inhalation, a sense of hovering the breath. And as you exhale, releasing the mind as you gently hug the belly backwards into the spine. Continue for a few more paces. Every inhalation will focus on abdominal breathing. The belly is swelling, the shoulders are relaxed, the face is relaxed. And as you exhale, just feeling the whole body sigh as you empty the breath. And gently use the muscles to pull the belly in, emptying all the corners of the lungs. Let's take about 3 more abdominal breaths together, inhaling into your fullness. And as you exhale, returning to your wholeness, emptying the breath, emptying your thoughts, emptying your doubts. 2 more, a full inhale to the belly. And a releasing exhale. Good, this is our last one with just the abdomen, inhaling fully into the belly. And you're just relaxing. The more you relax, the bigger the breath can swell. And as you exhale, releasing any residue of the week, being fully present as the belly hugs into the spine. Beginning to include now the ribs as well. As you inhale, allow the belly to become full. And begin to feel that the ribs are expanding just a little bit, no force. And as you exhale, the ribs seem to gently hug into the heart, and the belly gently hugs into the spine, and the shoulders are relaxed. Let's try a few more cycles. Inhale, the belly becomes full. Sense the breath rise and expand through the ribs. And as you exhale, everything narrows, and yet the mind opens as you empty the breath. Let's do 2 more this way. We're just filling the breath. There's no rush. Inhaling your abdomen, trying your side ribs a little bit. And as you exhale, slowly a stream emptying back into an ocean. Hug the belly in. Just a little squeeze at the bottom of the breath. Let's try just 1 more this way. Inhaling your belly, your side ribs, and exhale, relaxing, emptying of fear, emptying of doubt, 1 breath at a time. We're working with 3-part breath. We're going to see now if we can include a little bit into the collarbones. As you inhale, the belly begins to expand, the ribs open, and now the breath is rising up through the collarbones. Take your time. As you exhale, everything falling, collarbones settle, the ribs hug, and the belly draws in towards the spine. Let's go very slow for a few more breaths. It's okay if you're challenged this way, 1 breath at a time. Inhaling the belly, into the ribs, rising the breath through the collarbones. And as you exhale, just settling like a waterfall of release, falling through the body, emptied and open. Let's do 3 more this way. Inhaling, and exhaling. Good, 2 more. Inhaling the belly, the ribs, and rising into the collarbones. And exhale, release. Good, 1 last one. Inhaling the belly and the ribs. And a little higher still. It's okay if your breath doesn't meet mine. It can be your own pace. And exhale, release. Now very gently place your left hand onto your heart. Close the eyes for a moment and just notice how a few rounds of breathing may have softened the edges of the mind. No need to judge yourself. You are whole and you are complete. We'll continue to work with this style of breath, a 3-part breath, as best as your body allows for this practice. Remember, there's not a wrong way. Allow the fingertips to now relax down towards the earth. And again, we're just letting the shoulders be very soft. Working with a few movements, as you inhale, begin to draw the shoulders up high towards the ears. Press them to the chair and release them down to the earth, shoulder circles. As you inhale, exaggerate the rising of the shoulders, lifting the breath. Let the shoulders squeeze behind you, and exhale, release. Good, let's do a couple more. Just slowly mobilizing the shoulders. Inhale, the shoulders rise. And exhale, the shoulders release. Good, last circle. Inhale, the shoulders rise. Release the shoulders behind you, down to the earth as you exhale. Wonderful. We're going to switch directions. Think of squeezing the backs of the shoulders. Inhale, the shoulders rise up to the ears. And now the shoulders roll forward towards me. Good. Let's continue. Squeezing the backs of the shoulder blades. Inhale, the shoulders rise. The shoulders draw forward and release. Good. Let's do 1 more cycle. Rising the shoulders up. Drawing the shoulders forward and releasing the shoulders down. Nicely done. We're working now with 1 breath and 1 movement. Work within your range of motion for your shoulders. Take your time, just the right arm. Inhale, the right arm begins to draw to the side, rising only as high as your shoulder range allows. As you exhale, slowly imagine pressing the surface of the ocean all the way down to its depths. Good, we're going to do this movement again. Try 1 breath, 1 movement. Inhale, the right arm rises to the side, rises along the ear just as best you can. And as you exhale, allow the fingers to gently draw down to the earth. Good. Let's try the left arm. Inhale, the left arm rises to the side, rises to the sky. Try to stretch the inhale, relaxing, happy face. Exhale, the left arm is floating back down to the earth. Good. 2 more. Inhale, the left arm rises. Stretch the breath as you lift the arm. Inhaling the arm up. And exhale, letting the fingers fall back down to the earth with mindful consciousness. Doing beautifully. Let's do 1 more this side. Inhale, the left arm rises. And it's okay if you need extra breath. There's not a wrong way to do this. And exhale, releasing the fingertips all the way back down to the earth. Good. Again, work within your range of motion. We're going to try both arms. Inhale, the arms are rising out to the sides. high up into the sky. Sip in a bit more breath, a bit more sunshine, and exhale slowly, beginning to press the fingers back down to the earth. Good, let's do 2 more. Inhale, these wings of freedom begin to rise. Sip in all that fresh oxygen through the mind. And exhale, the fingertips slowly releasing back down to the earth. Good. Let's try just 1 more. Inhale, the arms rise. Remember, you can breathe extra. See if you can sip in a bit more inhale. And exhale, releasing the fingers all the way back down to the earth. Once they've arrived, gather your palms as best as the hands allow today into a prayer. Close the eyes and just take a moment to connect. Notice how you feel under your thoughts when you are simply rested in your heart. Good. You can allow the eyes to reopen. Begin to release the palms down to the lap. This movement might be very subtle in your body. It often is in mine. If you can, cup your knees. It's okay if your hands don't reach. As you inhale, we're going to be lifting the belly and lifting the chest as if bringing our hearts to meet. I'm in a little bit of a back bend here. Now as you exhale, round the shoulders forward, your back to the chair, tucking the chin to the chest. Remember, 1 breath, 1 movement. As you inhale, sense the belly full, the heart full. Be careful with your neck, not lifting the chin too high. And exhale, rounding the body in. This is seated cat-cow, excellent for spinal mobility. Good, let's do about 3 more. Inhale, the chest, the belly, the heart forward. And exhale, rounding in, as if you could look into your own wisdom, which is amply abundant. Let's do 1 more. Inhale, rolling the breath through the belly. Let the belly and the heart come forward. And exhale, slowly beginning to round the back, tucking the chin in towards the chest. Good, nicely done. Take your time, allow the body to rise up, finding yourself in a nice neutral position. I'm going to walk my knees closer together. Now take your time. Again, fingers can touch the knees. We're going to go on the right arm. Inhale, the right arm rises in front. Pause wherever you meet your range of motion. As you exhale, slowly the right palm coming back down to the knee. Alternating sides, left arm. Inhale, the left arm reaches out in front of you, rises just as high as the body allows. And exhale, releasing that left palm back down to the earth. Now we're going to try both arms. Take your time. Inhale, the arms rise in front. Maybe they pause there, or maybe they lift along the ears. And as you exhale, just feel your fingertips in the air, slowing the mind, slowing the nervous system down. Good, let's try right arm again. Inhale, the right arm rises in front. And exhale, the right palm slowly coming to meet the knee. Remember, you can do this in your own way. Left arm. Inhale, the left arm rises as if we were lifting off some of our perceived limitations. And as you exhale, the left palm falling to meet the knee. Good. We'll try both arms now. Arms in front. Inhale, the arms in front and overhead. And exhale, the palms slowly falling back down to meet the knees. Good. Now take your time. We're actually going to cross the arms over. It's okay again to do this in your own way. This is a little breath exercise. As you inhale, the crossed wrists rise. They open, And you're lifting your chest up just a little bit. Good. As you exhale, cross the wrists, doesn't matter which side, as if diving in to a water body. Good. Let's try 2 more of these. Inhale, the crossed wrists rise, the arms open, little bit of lift in the chest. And exhale, the wrists cross, round the body, relaxing forward. Good. We have 1 more. Inhale, the arms rise, the arms open, a brightness in your heart and your body. And exhale, the wrists cross and the body softly is rounding forward. Good, you can release the cross of the wrists and allow the body just to slowly begin rolling its way back up. You can let the shoulders roll and the shoulders relax. Continue with your full abdominal breathing. Good. Now taking your left hand towards your right knee, I'm going to close my knees a little further together, sitting in the middle of my seat. Good. Take an inhale here, left hand on right knee. Inhale, let the body become very tall. And as you exhale, press the hand on the knee, twist just a little bit to the right. This is a very subtle movement, a very subtle twist. We're going to stay here for 3 breaths. Inhaling the belly, the ribs, the collarbones. And exhale, release. Good, 2 more. Inhaling through the belly. Don't worry if you don't have a lot of sensation here. Focus on your breath. And exhale, release. Good, this is our last breath. Taking an inhale, sense your right collarbone draw just a little bit more back, shoulders relaxed. And exhale, release. Good, as you inhale, drawing your body back to center. Now the right hand towards the left knee. Gently begin to twist towards your left. Your left hand can be placed wherever it's most appropriate. Let's take an inhale to lift up through the length of the body. And as you exhale, you might be twisting to the left a little bit further. Again, don't seek sensation. Let it be subtle. Let's take a couple more breaths here. Inhaling. And exhaling. Good, we'll take 1 last breath in the subtle twist. Inhaling. And exhaling. Good, allowing the heart to slowly melt its way back towards center. I'm simply shifting my chair backwards for a little bit more visibility within my movements. Good, taking your time now, if you can, shift a little further towards the edge of your chair, coming forward towards me. If that doesn't feel safe in your body, stay seated backwards. Good, take your time, the fingertips again release down towards the earth, arms to sides, 1 breath, 1 movement. Inhaling the arms to sides and overhead. And now as you exhale, you'll gently let the body round forward towards me, letting the fingers fall as your ribs relax onto your lap, seated forward fold. Good, we're going to come back up with the backs of the hands. Inhale, the backs of the hands rise. You'll press your feet to gain a little mobility. And as you exhale, releasing the arms back down to the sides. Good, feel a sunrise on your insides. Inhaling the arms to sides and overhead as golden light crosses the horizon. As you exhale, the fingers come forward. Keep pressing into your feet, and you can always round much more subtly. You don't have to come all the way forward. It's your body. Good, let's try the backs of the hands again. Inhale, the backs of the hands rising in front and overhead. And exhale, swim the fingers down to the earth. Good, we have 1 more this way. Move at your own pace. Inhaling the arms to sides and overhead, as if drawing in energy to the body. And now as you exhale, hinge forward, you're pressing your feet and you're only rounding to your capacity. This is a little back stretch and strengthening. Good, again, arms in front. Inhale the arms in front and overhead. And exhale, releasing the fingertips all the way back down to the earth. Nicely done. And now take your time. I call them cactus arms. So I'm simply bending through my elbow, seeing if I can get my elbow to meet in with my shoulder, with my palm above my elbow on both sides. Good, so we'll call these cactus arms. We're gonna take an inhale here. I want you to feel how the corners of your chest open, and there's a sense of the muscles at the back of the heart closing. So a little bit of strength here. Good, let's take an inhale in this little position. And now as you exhale, gently begin to turn your fingertips down towards the earth, just rotating the arms down. Good, funny little movement. Let's inhale and slowly begin to lift the cactus arms. Tops of the shoulders are relaxed, but there's strength in the arms. Good, let's do 3 more. Slowly beginning to fold these goalposts or these cactus arms. Good, 2 more. Inhale, beginning to rise. Mindful of symptomology within the neck. And exhale, slowly the fingers falling down. There's no need to be perfect. It doesn't exist in humanity. Let's try 1 more. Inhale, the goalposts rise. And exhale, turning the fingertips down to the earth. Good, this will be our last rising. Inhale, slowly rising those cactus arms. And now reach through your elbows. And as you exhale, allow the fingers to fall. I know with that movement, I can actually feel quite a bit of energy in my shoulders. Always being very, very mindful. Good, continuing to sit further forward on the chair. Again, if balance is a challenge, this way you're sitting back to where you feel safe. There's not a right and not a wrong here. Good, take your time. We'll close the knees together. Arms in front. Inhale the arms in front and overhead. And as you exhale, feel your feet press. And we're going to pour the body forward over these closed knees. Allow the face to relax. And just take a few breaths here in this forward fold. This can feel for me quite nice in the low back. But if you have any bulging discs, any herniated discs, I want you to simply hinge, not round the body forward. So you can just take a little hinge there, loosening some of the connection between the hamstrings, sits bones, and low back. Remember that we are also training the mind. We are training the mind into stillness by continuing to find the breath. Good. Now take your time. Gently begin to walk your hands to your knees, supporting yourself and rising your way back up. Good. Once you've arrived, inhale the shoulders up to the ears. Let the breath empty out the mouth. Good. Let's try that again. Inhale the shoulders up to the ears. Exaggerated. Our last one. Inhale the shoulders up to the ears. Good. Now you're going to be shifting just about to the midpoint of your seat, and you're going to widen your knees, just as wide as your body allows. Beautiful. Let's release the fingertips down in front. Hopefully y'all can see me. Good. We're going to take the arms in front again. Inhale the arms in front and overhead. Now as you exhale, release your right forearm towards your right thigh area and gently begin to side bend to the right. Now I have lots of range of motion in my shoulders. That movement of the arm may be too much. It's okay to have your hand to your hip or to relax the hand behind the head, paying attention, especially for those of you with cervical dystonia, not aggravating any of your symptoms. We're going to take about 2 or 3 breaths here, really focusing the breath on the left side of the waist. This gets very contracted when our breath is shallow. Just let it aerate here. 2 more breaths. Last breath, inhaling. And exhaling. Good, allow the hand to release. Gently allow the body to sit its way back up and just take a little pause and center. That can be a surprising stretch, at least in my body. Good, release the fingers down in front of you, arms in front again. Inhale, the arms rise. They do not have to go along your ears, but if you can. Now exhale, the left forearm towards that left thigh area. Gently lean to the left. The top arm is placed where it's best for your symptoms, for your range of motion, and for your deeper sense of safety and comfort. Let's take 2 or 3 breaths along that right side waist. Notice the ribs open as you breathe in. Let the lips relax as you exhale. We've just 1 more. Inhaling the right side waist. And exhale, releasing. Good, now take your time, very gently beginning to sit your way back up, and we're keeping the legs wide. Take an inhale, big inhale, feel the breath rising in the body. And now as you exhale with wide legs, we're gonna hinge forward. Now, like me, you might be able to reach the earth. If that's not possible, then you'll keep your forearms and you're just tilting forward a little bit. Anytime we fold the body forward this way, we help to cool the sympathetic nervous system, giving an opportunity for the body to de-escalate and to relax the sentry in the mind that is often guarded when we're in some physical discomfort. Just a couple more breaths here. Good. Now take your time. Again, like me, you might enjoy using your hands on your knees to begin pressing the body back up, being very safe in the body. We'll begin to walk the knees together. I'm shifting my chair just for better visual for all of you. So I'll be turning sideways, but you don't need to. Staying seated on your chair wherever you feel most comfortable, forward or backwards in the chair. Working with that lengthened spine if you can. Good, now we're gonna work with the right leg. I like to bring my hands to my pelvis, but you may rest them on your lap if you prefer. With the right leg, take your time to inhale and lift the right leg out in front of you. So I've just got my leg long. It's a little hard to see in the video. And as you exhale, release that right foot back down to the earth. Let's do our left side as if you were kicking through any walls of doubt. Straighten the left leg and release the foot back down to the earth. Let's try right leg, excuse me. Inhale, the right leg reaches out. Mindful if you have hip issues, especially replacements, right foot to the earth. Good, let's try our left side. Inhale, the left leg lifts. And exhale, the left foot releases. Good, let's do another round. Inhale, the right leg kicks out. You'll feel the leg muscle strengthen a little. And exhale the foot to the earth. You're doing wonderfully. Let's do our left side. Slowly begin to kick that left leg out. Sorry you can't see my whole leg. And releasing the foot all the way back down to the earth. Nicely done. Now, if you are able, I would like you to shift a little more towards the front of your chair. It's okay if that's not working for you. Remember, your safety is always primary. Good. Now, once you're shifted a little more forward towards the edge of the chair, let's take an inhale, getting the spine tall. You're rooted at the sits bones, rising at the crown of the head. Good. Now, taking your left hand to your right knee, see if you can reach your right hand towards the back of your chair. I'm able to reach the top of my chair, but again, I have a fair range of motion in my shoulders. Good, so touching wherever the right hand can reach, back of the chair or top of the chair. Let's take an inhale for another twist. And as you exhale, press your left hand into your right knee and twist just a little more fully to the right. It's a subtle twist through the abdomen, bringing nourishment and blood to the vital organs. Good, we're not staying long. One more inhale. And as you exhale, turning forward, left side, your right hand to your left knee, turn to the left, and you're taking your left hand somewhere along the back of the chair. You can gain a little bit of support hanging on, and just gently turn the body, never forcing. Let the breath be the barometer of your practice. 2 breaths, inhaling. And exhaling. Last one, inhaling. And exhaling. Release the twist and allow the body to draw forward. Find that your left foot is really planted on the earth. Take your time, come to the ball of the right foot. If you can, if the hands are working okay, see if you can take your hand to your right knee. Some of us are going to stay here and others are going to see if they can crawl the right knee up, hang a little bit onto the shin. So again, if you've had a hip replacement or you have some hip injury, you may be keeping your knee right at hip height and instead hang on to underneath of the leg. Little bit of strength, a little bit of stretch. Let's take 2 breaths here. We're not staying long in the movements. And exhale. One more breath. Together, inhaling. And together, exhaling. Allow the foot to release down to the earth. Second side, you'll lift up onto the ball of the left foot if you can. Remember your options. You can simply stay here. If your hands are working and your hip feels okay, you can lift that left knee, hang on to where it feels relevant. It's okay to hang on under the leg. Just coaxing some oxygen into the pelvis. 2 breaths. Inhale. And exhale. Last one, inhaling. And exhaling. Good, release your hands. If they were holding on, allow that left foot to root down into the earth. Good, so again, I'm turning sideways. You can stay forward on your seat. As I turn sideways, taking your time, you'll walk the feet further out ahead of you. Again, sorry my phone isn't capturing all this. So just walk the legs a little bit longer. Once the legs are a little bit longer, your knee isn't as bent, you'll walk the feet together. Good, take your time. We're going to take the arms in front. Inhale the arms in front and overhead. And as you exhale, just gently hinge just a little bit forward. Doesn't have to be a big movement, just a little bit forward. And I want you to roll your spine. Think of rolling the spine back up and open. Good, and then we're going to slide the hands down the legs and just gently hinge a little bit forward. Let the spine round and just roll yourself back up. Good. We're going to try one more. So you're sliding your hands down your legs, just a little bit forward. Good. We'll let the back round and just slowly begin to roll yourself all the way back up. Now bending through both of your knees. Again on the right leg, we're going to take the right leg forward so you can hang onto the edges of the seat or the hands to the pelvis or lap. Take your time to kick the right leg forward and now begin to circle. You're getting a good visual of the bottom of my foot and you're just circling your ankle out. So I'm just going to draw my foot in so you can see. So this is going to be strengthening the right leg and you're rolling that right ankle out. Good. Go in the opposite direction. This can be surprising strength in the leg. Good. Let's bend the knee and plant the foot back on the earth. Good. And then taking your time with the second side, slowly kick the left leg out in front of you. And again, begin to circle the ankle. These are often such neglected areas. Think of how much demand there is on our feet and our ankles. Good. You can roll in the opposite direction. There might be a bit of sensation in that left calf. It's okay to do it different. Good. Still the circling and release that left foot down to the ground. Nicely done. And taking your time now, let's again just shrug the shoulders up and release the shoulders down. Good. Now mindfully on your left arm, inhale, the left arm draws out to the side. And you're just going to pause with the arm to the side. Depending on your sensation in your neck and your symptoms presenting today, you can release the left ear just a little bit towards that left shoulder. Just a little bit. Good. We won't stay long. Allow the head to center and release the left arm down to the earth. Good. We're going to try this on the right side now. Inhale, the right arm rises to the side. And as you exhale, just soft, soft tilt to the head. Good. We'll turn the head back to center and allow that right arm to fall to the earth. Let's take 2 sighing breaths. Big inhale. Feel the breath rising up the spine. Spill it out your mouth. Being human can be complex. Let's simplify with one more breath. Inhale all that fresh oxygen in the body. Good, nicely done. Walk your feet further apart. We're again going to widen the knees. You want the knees as wide as they possibly can go. Another twist. I'm taking my left hand to the front of my chair. So you might need to shift a little bit further back. Left hand at the front of the chair. Good. Now right arm to the right side. Inhale the right arm to the right side. And as you exhale, twist just a little bit to the right. Keeping that right arm risen. Sorry, tongue twister. Good. One inhale. And as you exhale, sweep forward. The right hand centers on the chair. Left side. Inhale, the left arm floats out to the left side. And as you exhale, you're simply twisting to the left. My right hand is stabilizing me on the chair. It's a subtle move. Good. One inhale. And exhale, slowly releasing all the way back down towards center. Walking the knees together. Let's again shift to the front of the chair if that's feeling stable for your body. Can never emphasize that enough. Good. Once you've shifted, walk your left leg long. So you can't see, but I've just got my left knee straightened. I'm at the edge of my chair. And we're going to take the hands to the pelvis. Take an inhale to grow in your side waist. And now as you exhale, you're hinging forward. Your hands can fall onto that lengthened left leg or to the earth, or you can simply bow over, gently releasing the tissues, the back of the left leg. Now, you may not have a ton of sensation here. Some of you might be quite naturally flexible, or if you have more generalized dystonia, there might be quite a bit of tension. There's not a wrong way to experience this. So just notice what you notice and know that you aren't right or wrong. We're just feeling the body. Good, we're not staying too long. Let's gently begin to hinge the back up. Now I'm bending my left knee in and I'm switching sides. Now my right knee is going to come straight. The right leg is out nice and long. Left foot is planted. Take an inhale. We're getting all that volume of breath, expanding the difference between pain and suffering. And as you exhale, again, you're just hinging a little bit forward over that right leg. Now this can feel a little pinchy under the sits bones. So coming further to the edge of the chair with your safety in mind. Good, a couple of breaths. Good. Now take your time, gently beginning to rise back up, and you'll bend through the right knee. Both feet are rooted onto the ground. Good. We're going to do a little bit of a breath exercise. It's very, very simple. As you inhale, we lift the shoulders up, get really big, almost a sense of contracting, inhaling, and let it flop out. Good, let's do 3 more. Last 2. Last one. Really exaggerated, really silly. No one's listening. Good job. Now mindfully on the right arm. Inhale, the right arm reaches out just to shoulder height. Keep the top of the shoulder relaxed. Now see if you can point your palm towards me, fingers up to the sky. Remember, if your hands aren't working well, you're just doing the best you can. I'm going to take my left hand onto my fingertips and just gently resist. So this hand is pulling back, these fingers are pressing forward, and we're just pausing here. Again, the wrists are complicated like the ankles and often neglected. Good, so if you have any arthritis, or of course if you have focalized dystonia in the hands, you're doing this your own unique way. It's okay to rest. Good, I'll release my hand and now point my fingertips down. I'm taking now my fingers just under the top of my hand, just a little touch. Just a little touch. Good, release your left hand. Make a fist with your right hand and then begin to circle out. When we move slowly, we develop a stronger interoception within the body, where we begin to understand what's happening within our emotions, our limbic system, our sense of hunger, our sense of need. So just moving slow, let the hand release. Good. Begin to turn your gaze to the right, just looking towards the right. Couple of breaths here. Good, allow the head to center. Turn the gaze to look over the left shoulder. Notice if you can peer out of the right eye, as if the right eye was looking to the left. Good, and now gently begin to center the head. Nicely done. If you need a rest, always know it's okay. Good, taking your time, let the hands release down. On the left arm, inhale, the left arm rises in front of you and into the sky. Good, and we're going to exhale and gently turn the palm towards me. So once you're pressing the palm, take your right hand over the fingers and just find a gentle, gentle press. Good. Don't worry again if you're not having a lot of sensation. You're still working in this practice. Nicely done. Release your hand. Let your fingertips point down to the earth. Take your hand again over the left if you can. Just a gentle press. So much tension in the forearms and the wrists, at least in my body. Good, let's release that right hand. Make a fist with your left if you can, and just circle it out. You may not be able to hear it, but my wrists sure are crackling. Here in Edmonton, we have some gray weather. There's always sunshine inside, in the light of the breath. Go in the opposite direction. Good. And now releasing your hand all the way back down to the ground. Good. Once your hand is released to the ground, let the right arm fall to the side. Inhale, the right arm rise to the side, into the sky. And now as you exhale, let the elbow bend and the right hand might fall to the neck or the back of the shoulder. If you're able, draw your left hand onto the right elbow and just support the opening. Just a little bit of support from that left hand. Again, if that's not working for the presentation of your symptoms, modify in ways that feel best for you. Good, nicely done. Let's allow both arms to release down to the ground, taking one conscious breath. Inhale to the count of 4. Inhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice job. And exhaling to 5. Exhaling 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Left arm. The left arm has fallen to the ground. Inhale, the left arm rises to the side, to the sky. And exhale allows the elbow to bend and the hand just falls. Often this is plenty of stretch for me. I'm quite tight through my arms versus my shoulders. But you may be able to take that right hand to the left elbow and just gently support. If you're unable to do any of these postures, focus on your breath. It's good mental training. Presence. Absence of future, absence of past. Just here in the present. Nice work. Let's slowly release the arms all the way back down to the earth. Good job. Now the right arm again. We're going to inhale, the right arm reaches out in front. As you exhale, I'm going to cross the right arm over my body. It doesn't move very far for me. Taking my left hand to my upper right arm and just gently, gently hugging the arm in. Shoulders relaxed. Let's take 2 breaths together. Try the counting. Inhaling to a count maybe of 4, less or more is fine. And see if you can lengthen your exhale by 1 additional count. Longer exhale than inhale. Good, nice work. Let's release the hands and just shake the arms out a little bit. Let the arms relax, left side. Inhale, the left arm draws out in front of you. As you exhale, cross the arm. Again, mine barely moves. I'm going to use my right hand on my left upper arm and just hug the arm a little closer to the body. Imagine breathing into your shoulders, the back of your heart, as we begin to empty of any harbored hurts, breath by breath. Let's take 1 more together. You can try the counting if it works for you. Inhaling, maybe to the count of 4. Let's try releasing a longer exhale, maybe to the count of 5. Good job. You're doing beautifully. Allow the arms to softly release. Good. Now, taking your time, you're going to draw your fingertips towards your shoulders. I know this can be actually quite challenging, so it's okay if you need to have the arms out at a little bit of a different or unique pose. Touching wherever you can, elbows are down. Take your time. We're going to swim the elbows towards your screen, towards the sky. Circle them around. Good. We're going to do a few more. Don't worry so much about the breath meeting the movement on this one. Just lengthen the breath and be really exploratory. We begin to understand that as we move the body, we move the mind. In the same way that pain in the body can contract the mind, a relaxed mind can support more restedness in the body. Our thoughts create suffering, and this is different than the pain that we experience. Good, you're doing wonderfully. Let's try going backwards. Again, it's okay if you're doing this in your own way. Yoga should be very individual, although thematically and axiom, it is very universal. Peace is your birthright. It is deeper than pain or pleasure. Good, you're doing great. Let's see if we can try one more. Good, releasing all of that weight. And it's okay to close the eyes. Good. If your eyes are closed or open, no problem. Take your time. We're going to inhale and just lift the chin just a little bit. I do not like big movements, taking the head all the way back. We just want a subtle lift of the head. And as you exhale, dropping the chin towards the chest. Good, let's do this just a couple more times. Inhale, whatever mobility you have is just perfect. Just a gentle, gentle chin tilt. And exhale, releasing the chin down towards the chest. Remember, movements should be subtle in the neck. One more. Inhale, just a gentle lift of the chin. And exhale, releasing that chin down to the chest. Good. Allow the head to come into neutral. Now, that last movement may be more appropriate for you, or if things are working well in the hands or the shoulders today, let's try lacing the fingers or just touching the fingers to the back of the head. So you could lace them or simply touch the back of the head. Good. As you inhale, flare the elbows backwards. Let the head touch into the hands. And as you exhale, we're going to round the body, close the elbows, chin to chest. Good. Let's do this 3 more times. Inhale, sensing the lotus bloom out of the mud and the mess of the past. And exhale, rounding in, turning into your own good heart. Good. Let's do this 2 more times. Inhale, opening. Remember, this can be done without arms. And exhale, rounding in. Good, last one. Inhale, flare the elbows, lift the chin. And exhale, rounding in. Good job. Allow the hands to release and allow the head to come into neutral. Allow the fingers to release down towards the earth. Stay at the level, stay seated in the chair as feels most relevant. Again, if you've had some hip issues, especially hip replacements, you may be pausing for this next one. See now if you can draw your right ankle over top of your left knee. If that's not available, just allow the knee to fall out to the side a little bit. In either variation, pause, Notice how the pelvis feels. And if you're able, you can gently hinge forward. The left foot is very stable. You can rest your hands wherever they feel most available for your body and let the eyes close. Again, it's okay to be shifted very back in your chair for stability. And you can simply be letting that right knee fall to the side as you hinge forward. Let's take a couple of breaths here. Now imagining that the pelvis was inhaling. Where we direct breath, we also direct circulation. They've done a lot of peer-reviewed research on this. So just work with that image of that inhale expanding in the pelvis. And an exhale, just like a nightshade, blooms coming back into a bud. Let's take one more here. Inhaling. Low back is breathing, belly breathing, pelvic expanding, pelvis expanding. And as you exhale, that sense of coming together, like the peace in a prayer. Good, sitting the body upright, releasing that right foot down to the earth had it been risen. Only when you're ready, second side, gently seeing if you can cross that left ankle over the right knee. And again, you might just be opening the knee to the side to just get a little bit of mobility in there. If your body allows, if it feels safe, gently folding into sensation. Now we always want to meet only enough sensation that we can still have a relaxed breath. Enough sensation you focus as you inhale, and the mind relaxes as you exhale. Good, let's try just one more. Inhaling. And exhaling. Good, allowing the body to gently sit its way upright. Had the ankle been lifted, releasing the sole of the foot down towards the ground. Good, now take your time. This can be a little bit more challenging. We're going to step the right foot out to the right side. So you'll see I've swung my right knee out to the right side. Good, now just gently shifting to the back of the chair. Take your time to walk the left foot a little more wider, but you're turning towards your right knee. Again, so this is just a little bit of a twist. You'll place your hands where it feels best. Think of turning towards that right knee. And you're just breathing here. There's not a wrong way. Good. You'll turn back to center. Walk that right knee forward. The left knee comes very far out to the side. You can widen the right knee as much as you need. Just focus on turning towards that left knee. So we're just getting a little bit lower in the pelvis on this twist. I like to hang on to my knee. It's a little hard to see, I'm sorry, but just getting a bit of a deeper twist into the body. This will help break up some of the fascia tissue within the low spine, which can impact the fascia tissue, of course, throughout the rest of the body. Good, now gently turning back to center. Don't worry if the position felt a little awkward. We're gonna walk the knees in together. I'm gonna shift to the front of my chair. It's a little more comfortable for the backs of my legs. You can stay seated back. Again, a forward fold. You can walk your hands down your legs and gently fold forward. If you can take a hold of opposite elbows. Again, you can rest on your lap or just hang forward for a breath or two. Long and deep breath. Good, one more. Inhaling. Sorry, I'm just touching my phone to keep an eye on the time. Okay. Good, walking your hands back up towards your legs. Beautifully done. Remember, you can ask questions if you have any questions. We're now going to be moving to the seated portion of our practice. Of course, you can remain on your chair. You can do this in any kind of unique way. You'll see me moving my phone lower. So I'm just taking my phone to move lower, and I'm going to remove my chair. And remember, if you have a support person present, that can be a wonderful way to navigate moving towards the floor. Good. So allowing yourself to come down towards your sits bones. Now, I have quite a big cushion here. This is my meditation cushion. If you have any kind of cushion at home, you can gather them. Another option that I like to use is I just take the end of my mat. This is my spare mat, but if I was sitting on this mat, I would just sort of lift up the back of the mat. And once that happens, then we can have this tucked underneath of the sits bones. So I'm going to go ahead and take my giant cushion and just sit up onto it a little bit. You just want your pelvis a little bit higher. Good. So once you've come up to the sits bone or onto the cushion, if you're quite flexible, you may not need it. I'm not very flexible through my pelvis, so I actually really need this. Once you've arrived, I'm going to connect the soles of my feet together, allow my knees to widen open. You're walking the heels in close to the pelvis as much as the body allows. Mindful of sensation in the knees. The knees do not like sensation. Once you've arrived, I sometimes hang on to the tops of my feet or my toes. Together, we're going to take an inhale to get very tall. I'll stay here for a few breaths, especially if you haven't had time to move between the chair and the floor. There's no rush. Once you have arrived, soles of the feet connect, knees open. Allow the body just to tilt forward. So again, I don't have much of a range of motion here. You might be able to bring your forehead all the way to the earth, or like me, have very minimal movement. So just gently hinge into the sensation. We're looking for sensation in the corners of the pelvis to be absent of any kind of pinching or pulling, as if the sensation was a little more high-pitched. We always want sensation to have sort of a dull and a low, maybe a little bit of an achy feel as the joints get rehydrated. So really check in with your body. There's not a wrong way. Let's stay here in what's called Baddha Konasana, which just means bound angle pose. All the angles in the hips and the knees and the feet. Close your eyes and let's concentrate on 3 breaths. And exhaling from every fiber of your body. Two more breaths, inhaling fullness. And exhale, a wave of restedness through the body, dropping down, dropping our thoughts, dropping our story just for today. Together, please, one more inhale. And exhale, relaxing. Nicely done. Use your hands to allow the body to hinge had you been folded forward. Take a hold of the outer knees and help the knees gently close together. Walking your legs long once they've arrived, and again, we're sort of on the edge of the cushion, maybe not fully on that cushion. Good, my legs are out nice and long. Taking that inhale so we find the staff or the length of the spine. With your toes pointed up, maybe you can get a little bit of a better view if I turn this way. Maybe not. Good, and we're simply gonna, again, be hinging forward over these lengthened legs. So remember, in your forward fold, we don't wanna have any rounding of the spine. We want a sense of hinge at the hips. So there's a temptation to round and try to grab your feet. We're just gonna relax that and just hinge a little bit forward. Close the eyes. And let's enjoy some breath. This is your time. And every breath is healing to the nervous system, healing to the mind. Good. Let's take 2 more breaths. Inhaling the backs of the legs. Exhale, relax. One more. Inhaling. And exhaling. Use your hands and your legs to gently begin walking the chest upright. Good. Now, once you've arrived, bend your right knee and see if you can take your right foot over your left leg. My left leg is long, my right knee is bent. With your left hand, hug that right knee. Begin to twist to the right. Your right hand is behind you, almost like a second spine of support. If the foot crossing over is too much, just simply uncross. Again, mindful of any hip issues as you gently twist to the right and let the belly be very full. We tend to tuck the belly in, societal constriction, just let your belly be relaxed. Let's take 2 breaths. Inhaling. And exhaling. One more. Inhaling. And exhaling. Good. Allow the body to turn forward. Slide that right leg long in the earth. And let's just give our legs a little bit of a bounce if that's working within your mobility today. Second side, beginning to bend through your left knee. Once your left knee has been bent, if it works, crossing the left foot over the right. Again, it's okay not to. In either variation, your right hand to your left knee, gently beginning to turn to the left as if you were turning in curiosity towards your life. Let's take a couple of breaths here, excuse me. Finding a full inhale. And an exhale. One more together, inhaling. And relaxing as you exhale. Good, allowing the heart to gently begin turning forward. And you're simply releasing that left leg nice and long. And again, you may want to give your legs just a little bit of a bounce. Beautiful. Beginning to bend again through your right knee. Let the right knee bend. Sorry, I realize I have black on gray. It's a little hard to see. Good. Now the right knee is going to fall to the right side. I'm placing the sole of my foot through the inseam of my left leg. Good. Now, if you have a lot of sacral issues, sacral iliac issues, place your right foot closer to that left knee. Sorry, again, I'll have to figure out a little bit better way of doing the camera. Good. Once your foot is on the inseam of the leg, we want to scoop the belly up. So a sense of getting proud and noble in your human condition. If you have the mobility, you can gently begin folding towards your left foot. So again, it doesn't have to be a huge fold. It might be a millimeter. That's perfect. I like to close the eyes. And let's take a few breaths. Just 2. Inhaling. And relaxing. Good, another breath. Inhaling. And exhaling. Gently, the body sits upright, had you been folded forward. Good. We'll take the left hand to that flopped open right knee. Again, it may or may not reach. I have fairly long limbs. Left hand to right knee, twisting to the right. And my right fingertips are again just tented behind me. I'm still seated on the cushion for pelvic elevation, twisting to the right a few breaths. Our abdominal organs take on both physical tension and emotional tension. The mind and body are one. Every followed breath is a gift to your life. Let's take one more together. Inhaling. Let's sigh. Good. Unwind the twist as you unwind your mind. I'll be sliding my right leg out long, switching sides. Now left leg, the left knee bends. If that works, the left knee falls to the side. I'm going to place my foot towards the inseam of my right leg, making sure you feel stable on your cushion. Again, scoop up the belly, take an inhale, getting that nobility in. There's dignity in the human condition. As you exhale, you may or may not be folding towards that right foot. So you can just gently fold. Allow the eyes to close to calm the mind. As though we're just soothing that frontal brain, all of its complexities, all of its fears. Come back to the breath. Good, let's take two more together. Inhaling as if breathing the ocean into the kidneys. And exhale, relaxing. Let the breath release. Just one more breath here. Inhale that water element into the body, that fluidity, that adaptability, all the qualities of your heart, and let the breath release. Good. Walking your hands up your body very gently. I know my low back can get a little achy as it opens. Good. I'm going to take that right hand roughly towards the left knee, twisting to the left. It's just an open bellied twist, not a ton of movement. My left fingers come behind me to support, twisting left for a couple of breaths. Letting the breath release. Eyes are soft, face is happy. The tenacity of the human spirit never fails to amaze me. One more breath. Let's inhale everything we're feeling, experiencing, noticing. And now empty of it. Good. Gently allow the body to come back towards center. Once you've arrived in center, you'll come into what they might call in elementary school a little crisscross. Or in yoga, we might call it Sukhasana, with one heel balanced in front of the other heel. Crisscross can usually feel a little bit better. Again, it's okay to sit differently. There are no wrongs in this space. Once you've found a way of sitting quite comfortably, begin to walk the fingers forward. Now, I do have a fair range of motion in my body here, so I might be able to bow quite a bit. You might be just sitting here or just hinging forward as the pelvis gently unbuckles. Always listen to your body. It is your Sadguru, your true teacher. Let's close the eyes. Fold it as far as your sensation allows. And again, we'll imagine that the pelvis is breathing. Where we place the mind, the body intelligently begins to give some circulation. So use your mind as a powerful tool, not a weapon. Couple more breaths here. Concentration is a muscle we develop over time. Remember, I've been doing this many years. It's okay if your mind is drifting. Let's take another breath. Inhale a warm Chinook wind into the body, all the essence of springtime. And as you exhale, the body can just sigh and release. Get the belly to squeeze at the bottom of the breath. Good. Walking your hands back up towards your body had you been folded. Let's crisscross the other direction, or stacking the heels as I have. So just switching the cross. The outer becomes inner, the inner becomes outer. Once you've switched, remember you can take your time. You won't be behind. There's no ahead or behind here. You might be staying upright on this side, or again, I like to walk my finger pads out ahead, going very slow as we begin to attune to subtleties in the body, closing the eyes, breathing the hips, a few cycles of breath. Remember, you can count the breath to help stay concentrated. Let's take one more together. Good, nicely done. Let's begin to walk the hands back up towards the body. Once you've arrived, left hand to right knee, right fingertips behind you, gentle twist to the right. So again, please remember, if you have low back issues or especially SI joint dysfunction, you want this twist to be very subtle. Just enough that we're coaxing some movement into the spine. Twisting to the right, one more breath. We're not staying long. And an exhale. Slowly the heart revolves back to center. Second side twist. Now your right hand is touching onto your left knee, twisting towards the left, taking a couple of breaths here. Good, let's take our last breath together, inhaling all that fullness. And exhaling. Gently allow the heart to come back towards center. Once you've arrived in center, mindfully begin to inhale, the arms are floating up to shoulder height. Once they've arrived at shoulder height, release the right ear towards the right shoulder. Especially mindful of sensation. The neck doesn't like to be overstretched, so just very subtle. Good, allow the head to center itself and the left ear to soft towards the left shoulder. Good, nicely done. Allowing the head to gently center and releasing your fingertips all the way back down to the ground. Now, moving into wide-legged forward fold. You may not be able to get quite a good visual as I continue to learn how to position my camera. So I'm walking my legs out wide like a V. Again, I like to sit on the edge of the cushion. So that just gives my pelvis a bit of rotation forward for those of you that like anatomy. Many of us can't get the legs very wide, very natural, no problem. Once they've widened a little or a lot, many of us are going to sit quite upright. If you're able, you might again hinge in millimeters, which I often do, or folding further. So just gently fold between your legs. Notice the heels lightly pressing, so the feet aren't collapsed forward, but there's a sense of the heels being grounded in towards the earth or your mat. And again, we'll close the eyes and go inside, taking full breath. Good, another breath together. Inhaling, you may be counting, maybe to 4. And allowing the exhale to lengthen, emptying the breath. Empty any contraction on the forehead, the eyes. Even the tongue is quite relaxed here. Good, walking the hands back up towards the body had you had any forward movement. Bringing your right forearm to your right thigh. Some people can go on the earth. I don't have a lot of that mobility. Right forearm now to the right thigh. And again, you're just gently leaning towards the right, just getting that left rib cage, a little bit lengthened. Think of the ribs ballooning or like a billows. Inhaling fullness into the ribs. And as you exhale, slowly, slowly letting the breath go. You'll be amazed at what some time spent in breathing will do for the mind. Good, gently beginning to sit the body back upright, pause at center. Left forearm now to the left thigh, hinging a little bit to the left, this time feeling sensation along that right side of the body. Let's take a few breaths here. You're doing wonderfully. Good, very slowly beginning to sit your way back up. This can be achy to release. These tissues get quite bound, especially in the fascial tissue, which is a connective tissue in the body. So I like to take my hands under my knees as I lean back, and I'm going to help my legs close. Oh, so many achy sensations as this area of the body opens. Let your knees be bent. Slide your feet a little bit more forward, and let's walk the feet further apart. So just walk the feet further apart. Hands can be beside you, or I like my arms a little behind me, waving the knees. Let the knees wave to one side. You'll feel your pelvis lift and rotate a little, and the knees sway back to center, and the knees down to the right. Just go back and forth a few times, going slow. Often we move so fast that what we're feeling and experiencing gets unnoticed by our ordinary consciousness. We're busy humans. This is your time to slow down, get more familiar with your body, and just to encourage a little bit of movement. Perfectly imperfect, all of us together. Nicely done. Allow the knees to upright themselves. Now for this, I'll be removing the cushion from under my sits bones. You might find this useful as well. I'll be turning sideways, so hopefully you can see me quite well. Good, so knees are bent, my feet are rooted on the floor. Taking your hands to your knees, and we're just gonna hinge back. Just enough you feel that your abdomen contracts a little bit. Again, mindful, especially if you have generalized symptoms in the abdomen. So we just want a little contraction here. Good, now as you inhale, pull on your knees, lift your chest up, little bit of a back bend here you can see in me. Good, as you exhale, gently hinge back, feel your belly contract. We're gonna do 5 of these. Inhale forward. And exhale, hinge back. Try not to round the back of this movement. We want a straight spine. Good, let's do 4 more. Inhaling forward. And exhale, hinge back. Good. Inhaling. And exhaling. Good. I think we have two more. Inhaling forward. And exhaling backwards. Let's just do one more. You're doing great. Inhaling forward. And exhale, hinging backwards. Good. Now the last one we're going to hold. We're going to inhale up. If you feel your hip flexors getting a little tense, it's okay to walk the legs long instead and just kind of let them relax a little bit. Good. Taking an inhale here. And you're just going to hinge back and see if you can float the arms to shoulder height. Again, it's okay to walk the legs to the earth. Sometimes I find that better on my hips. Good. We want a little bit of core activity because that can stabilize balance. Good. As you inhale, let's sit up nice and straight. And try it again. Exhale, hinge back by floating the fingers off of the legs or your bent knees. Good. Let's try this again. Inhaling forward. And exhale, hinging backwards. Good, nicely done. Let's slowly begin to hinge up. If your knees were bent, we're going to allow the knees to open to the sides. And this time you're sliding your heels far away from your body. The first variation, our heels were in close. So my knees are open, the soles of my feet are connected, but I have a big diamond shape between my heels, my knees, and my pelvis. Again, you can sit up onto a cushion, or like me, I often use my prayer shawl. And then very gently begin to round as if your forehead could fall into your feet. Doesn't have to come anywhere close. That's just the aim of the pose. So allow yourself to round forward. Close the eyes. And enjoy a few breaths. Remember, this is your time. You are doing something wonderful, wonderful for your holistic health, where we see that mind and body, emotions and experiences are never separate from each other. Good. One more breath. And relax. Good. Let's very gently begin to walk the hands back up towards the body. Again, I like to help my knees close and slide the legs nice and long. Roll out your ankles. Apologize, you can't see my feet on this. So we're just rolling out the ankles and going in all kinds of directions. The calves also get very, very contracted. Good. And now just allow your legs to be fairly relaxed. Again, if you find that you're really, really rounding, getting some elevation or sitting up against a wall can be an excellent option. It's often how I meditate. Once you feel that you sit upright, let's take the arms out in front. Inhale the arms out in front. And now as you exhale, take your left hand over your right shoulder and gently begin to slide the right hand to meet your left shoulder. So in essence, we're just simply giving ourselves a little bit of a hug and you're lifting the bottom elbow up. Couple of breaths into the body. Good. Now, as you inhale, release. Don't worry about being right or wrong in this. As you inhale, let's open the world as if to receive and embrace. Opposite elbow on top. Exhale, give yourself a hug. Maybe the right arm is on top. And we'll just take a couple of breaths here, lifting the left elbow. And the tops of my shoulders are very relaxed here. So it's just that bottom arm is lifting. Can you truly embrace yourself amidst all conditions? Good. Now we're going to move a little bit. Let's inhale and open the arms. Big inhale, chest pronounced. And exhale, giving yourself a warm embrace, unconditional acceptance. Good. Again, as you inhale, the arms open, spread them out. Let the breath and the movement stretch. And exhale, hugging in the opposite direction. Good. This is our last opening. Inhale, opening the arms to the side. And as you exhale, let the fingertips fall to the earth. Walk the hands wide away from your body and begin to turn your gaze to look over the right shoulder. And then just softly tuck that right chin a little bit more towards the collarbone. It's not a big movement. Little turn to the right, little drop towards the collarbone. Mindful of your symptoms. Your body has wisdom. Good. Let's allow the head to lift, the head to center, a little turn to the left, dropping that left chin towards that left collarbone. Good. Allow the chin to lift, and we'll bring the head all the way back into center. Now the palms release down by the hips. I'm pressing my arms fairly strongly. If that's working for you, you press as well. It's okay to have relaxed hands on the lap. Once the palms are pressed, tilting the right ear towards the right shoulder. And then take the right arm over top of the head, just touching that left ear. Not pulling on the neck, just touching. Relax the left shoulder as you press the palm. Good, not staying long. Release the palm to the earth, head to center. Left ear just soft towards the left shoulder. If you can, the left arm wraps around the head and just gently touches that right ear. Just a reminder that there's length in the neck. Good. Releasing the hand down towards the ground and allowing your head to center. Good. Now I'm just gently turning. Of course, you don't have to. Once you are able, bend through both of your knees. If you need help, you can turn to the side and roll your body to the earth. If you're able to roll your body down, and again, I'm just adjusting my screen a little bit for visibility. Good, so let's just gently begin to roll the spine to the earth, or come to the earth however it's appropriate. Bending through both of your knees. And back of my head is just resting on the ground, and we're just taking a little pause here. The upper back spreads. The belly relaxes, so there's a sense of the low back dropping to the ground. Good, now just some gentle pelvic tilts here. You're going to press your low back down and have a sense of just lifting your tailbone up. Good, then reverse the movement, press your tailbone away. I'm getting a bit of an arc in my back. It might be hard to see, but I can slip my hand underneath. And you're just going to go back and forth a few times. Press the low back. Think of the tailbone curling up, little contraction in the belly here, and a sense of gently press the tailbone away, arc the back. Good, let's do two more. Press your back into the earth, roll the tailbone up, and again, tailbone rolls away, the back lifts, it's like a little back bend. And gently begin to press the low back into the earth. Nicely done. Slide your right leg long.
Bending your left knee towards your chest, lace your fingers if you can around the knee and just gently press the knee into the body. But think of the knee resisting the hands, counter traction. My hands lightly hug, my left knee lightly presses back. Close the eyes and soothe your nervous system with breath. Good, just one more here. Inhaling and exhaling. Allow that left leg now to lift up towards the sky. Again, you may not be able to get the leg straight. It's okay to work with the bent leg still. You'll take your hands to either the back of the hamstring, to the hamstring or to the calf. I'm pretty flexible here. I can reach my foot, but it's nice to just hang on gently to the back of the leg. Roll out your top foot. Describe a circle with your big toe. One ending becoming a beginning. Good. Let's go in the opposite direction. Oh, it's quite a bit of ankle popping. It's that Alberta weather, I tell you. Good. Let's still the ankle. Release your hands. If you need help, just let the knee bend and lengthen the leg onto the earth. It's okay to rest. When you're ready, second side, the right knee will bend. Lace the fingers around that right knee. And just a little bit of counter traction. And again, this is not an appropriate movement if you've had some major hip injuries or especially those hip replacements. But ideally, you know your range of motion and your guidance from your physiotherapist or your physician. Let's take a few breaths. The hands gently draw in and the knee seems to press back. Few breaths. It's okay. All of the thoughts will be waiting for you. This is your time. Concentration begins to purify the mind. Just gently emptying of our doubts. Now beginning to straighten that right leg. And again, find a suitable area that you can support your leg with. It's okay to keep some softness in the knee if you don't have that flexibility through the back of the leg. Many of us don't. And begin to describe a circle with your big toe, drawing a circle in the air, getting just some gentle oxygen into that right ankle. Good, making sure to go in the opposite direction now. Good, still the circling, release any clasp, letting that right leg fall to the ground, however that's reasonable for your body. Again, we're gonna bend through both of the knees, both knees bend. I'll walk my feet wider apart towards the edges of my mat and just allow the knees again to sway from side to side. You're gonna feel like me, your whole body rolls a little bit. Let that rolling happen. One movement in the body always affects the rest of the body. Again, I'm just checking the time. Sorry for my fingers here. Okay, good. Good. Now allow the knees to stand up. Walk the feet a little closer together. And you're going to spread your arms open to shoulder height if you can. So just draping the arms open. Allow the knees to fall down to the left. It's okay to go to the wrong side. It's not really a wrong here. If you notice this is really sore on your low back, you may wish to instead stack your knees or just make the twist very subtle by taking some of the bend of the pelvis and the knees. And now just let the breath relax, just your normal breath. The right shoulder is heavy. letting the twist soothe the spine, unless, of course, it's contraindicated by your health support team or by your sensations. You know best your body. Always advocate for your wellness. Together, we'll let the knees rise to center. And now we'll release the knees down to the right side, the second side. Again, you can play around with how bent the knees or the pelvis are. You can make it very subtle. You could, of course, be resting in center. Let the breath be relaxed, as though we were shifting into the dusk of the day, cycling down from the work that we've done. And you've done amazing work today. It's okay if the mind drifted and the thoughts thought themselves. You are doing amazing. Good. Let's allow the knees to come back into center. Now, only if this works, bring the knees towards the chest. Wrap your arms around your legs. If you can, hug into a bit of a ball, as though you were just embracing everything that you are. We'll be settling now into what's called Shavasana. It's a final relaxation at the end of practice. You'll be stretching the body out as if you were about to take a nap. For those of you with very sore backs, a cushion under the knees can feel really good. Again, this is a ridiculously big cushion. You might have a smaller one. I also like to place under my own head, if you have a blanket handy, just placing it under the head as you lay down. It can support any symptoms that you're having from not being so hard on the earth. Lay down however it works best for you. While you lay down, I'm going to be sitting up, so just listen to the sound of my voice. This is the moment you've been waiting for, the finality of practice, through which all of the benefits begin to integrate into the mind-body, and we see real healing happen. So allow the eyes to close. Scoot around on your mat as often as you need. Sorry, I'm just plugging my phone in to make sure that we stay connected. Scoot around on the mat as often as you need until there's a deep sense of surrender within the body. There's not a sense of the body contracting or fighting the relaxation. So there's not a wrong way to lay down. You can use some blankets, a bolster if you have one handy. If lying on your back is contraindicated or just very compromised today, of course you can turn to your side, any which way that feels really available for you so that you can relax. Once you have found a position in which that embodied surrender is available, close the eyes. Let the breath release, no effort any longer in the breath. The breath just breathes the body, and the body is breathing the breath. And there's a sense of the unconscious becoming conscious as you learn new things about yourself. And the body begins to drop, like a single raindrop falling from the sky, down and down and down, until it meets a lake of awareness. And the one drop is enmeshed in the body of water. And the body of water ripples, and the whole lake becomes still. And you can scan the body from the crown of the head down to the soles of the feet, demanding nothing of the body, but inviting a sense of rest. If you notice an area that is contracted that you're able to relax. It's okay if that's not happening in the body. Notice the bones of your body and imagine that they were glowing with energy, becoming recalcified and very dense. And there's a sense of the bones getting heavy as the muscles melt and the mind melts. And we find that there is alchemy, a transmutability within our suffering, resulting in a new wisdom and a new compassion to which you commit to your own heart. Now, I'll be leaving you in a period of silence. Be assured that the sound of my voice will be bringing you back at the end of our practice time. This silence is just a period in which you relax, hovering between sleep and wakefulness. So, okay, if you fall asleep, that's a wonderful side benefit of practice. So allow yourself to rest, and I'll invite you back in just a couple of moments. And there is a sense of sunlight inside, sense of warmth in your chest and a warmth in your belly. And from this glowing epicenter, rays of light reach into the fingers and the feet. Do rest further if you don't feel complete, or allow the wiggling fingers and feet prepare you to gently move. If it's available to your body today, you could roll over to the right side, just curling up into a little fetal position, what we might call the eka or the first form. And then you can use the support of your palms if you're able to come to a seated position, or if your support person is with you, or it's okay to stay laying on your side. There's no problem. Sometimes a 15-minute rest can feel very wonderful after a yoga practice. If you have come towards a seated position, again, there's not a wrong way. You can sit however's available. And again, I often recommend sitting up against a wall. We're not sitting very long. Once you have lifted and arrived, take your time, there's no rush. You can close the eyes for a final time. I'm just going about a minute or two over, my apologies. I get very excited sharing. So once you've arrived, you can rest the hands very relaxed on the lap or however they feel available today, closing the eyes. And just bring your left hand onto your heart space. I know that can feel vulnerable. It's okay, you're in the safety of your home and the safety of our togetherness. And just trust that the benefits of this practice will continue to unveil themselves for the rest of the day, the rest of the week. And that there is a sense of having come home to yourself exactly as you are. Whether we like those circumstances of the body or dislike them, this is your home, this heart, this body, and this moment. If it's available, allow the palms to come into a prayer or just a prayer inside the mind. And the light that is within me bows in sincere reverence to the light that is inside you. Thank you so much for joining me in this practice.